What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. Just like that, the New Orleans Saints are back.
We are back.
I don't know why. And Jordan just cursed it. Way to go. Way to go. You just referenced Ellinger? Are you kidding me? You referenced a meme, and the entire point of the meme is that they were indeed not back? Awful play. No,
Dude,
do not turn your mic on.
Okay.
You're going to the penalty box.
Got you.
2-minute timeout. I'll let you know when you can join back in. God. Anyway, the Rizzler and the Saints getting it done. I don't know why football has been so cruel this year to Louisiana, where it's like, okay, at the beginning of the year, LSU sucks, Saints are awesome. Then the Saints suck, and LSU gets awesome. And now LSU sucks, and the Saints are awesome again. But I guess it's better to have one than none. And all of a sudden, after a 35-14 win yesterday, was that the final score? Why am I doubting myself here at the end? The New Orleans Saints, yes, 35-14. New Orleans Saints, 4-7, winners of 2 in a row, playing with so much more confidence, getting healthy. Eric McCoy coming back's been huge. Alvin Kamara continues to just prove that he's playing as well as he ever has in his entire career. And the Taysom Hill element, this is why Taysom is so critical to stay healthy, because what Kubiak can do when he has Hill, well, you see it firsthand. So a really nice, and the final score not indicative of this game. This game was a dogfight, and you made some mistakes. Absolutely. You left things on the table, right? You had a couple of fourth down attempts that ended drives and scoring positions. But unlike every single piece of the Dennis Allen era, for the second week in a row, what you did do was finish. And this time you finished even more emphatically, finding a way to balloon this score to 35-14. So a really nice win from the Saints yesterday. And I would call it, guys, the Taysom Hill game, certainly.
And yes, and I want to get to Taysom, but I want to apologize to some of the veteran players on this team that the coaching staff, when DA was still the head coach, looked like maybe it was over. Maybe they weren't going to be able to be the players that they had been for so long, and they were the heart and soul of your franchise, because like DeMario Davis and Cam Jordan both, since they made the move, the last 2 games, fountain of youth.
It's crazy.
So it wasn't necessarily maybe on them. It was the positions that they were being put in. And Cam Jordan was playing like 17, 18 plays per game. The last couple of games, he's back in there. He played 49 of the 73 snaps in this one. DeMario Davis played all 73 snaps, and that's the DeMario Davis that we have known in New Orleans. He's still got something left in the tank. He's just putting, in my opinion, he's being, put in a position where he can continue to be free and be the guy that he's always been. I don't know.
The 4th and 1 stop was so.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why there was a disconnect, but there was, and it had gotten to a bad point. And so I want to apologize, because I'm like, man, is DeMario Davis, is he finally done? He's been so good. Hell, he was so good last year. It's not like, he's been like getting to this point. He was really good a year ago. The last 2 games, he has been the guy that he has always been, and you're starting to see that from other players too in other positions.
Yeah.
The tight end position was horrid for a long time at the beginning of this season. It's like, well, the last 2 games, they're back.
Yep.
Falston Morrow and Juwan Johnson played a hell of a game yesterday. Outside of Taysom Hill, like those would be my 2 offensive MVPs. I'm not just talking about like making the play with the ball in their hands. I'm talking about without the ball in their hands as well. So it's like positions that were struggling under DA are now back thriving. And that, to me, that points directly to the coaching, because in the NFL, you can't just turn it on and play better. Like, it is going to be something you're put in a better position, because you've always been there, but the scheme wasn't doing you any favors.
Yeah, and look, can I interest you in some Marquez Valdez-Scantling? Because MVS is fast. And what I love here, Jake, is, who knows? I'm a bit tongue-in-cheek on some of the MVS takes, but I will say this. As we said, the Saints right now, whether it's Pettis, Austin, whoever, right? Like, You got some bad news Bears ass dudes out there on the field right now. MVS is a cut above that.
Yeah.
And what's kind of interesting about this, Jake, it's definitely the first time in his career where he's ever probably felt this empowered, right? Like, okay, you are the guy. You're actually our best option. And so go out there, and we're going to give you the chance to make plays. He makes plays second week in a row as well here. All right, Jordan, I've decided that you are out the penalty box now.
Let's go.
How about Houdat? How about them Saints yesterday, dude?
Listen, man, this is what the state needed. Outside of Tulane, every team is trash.
Yeah,
from
Tulane's
Pelicans.
Whoa, Southern's not.
Oh, Southern.
Yeah,
I forgot.
shout out
Shout out my alma mater,
And
Southern
they had a
University, winning the
crazy
SWAC. Yes,
little big boy touchdown this
Yes.
weekend.
they
I
did.
mean, that's a little bowling ball of a man that scored that touchdown. Bro.
Shout out Southern.
So good.
But we needed this. And also, I get it. A lot of Saints fans, yes, we need to lose. We want a better pick. But look, guys, the franchise is not going to do that. No matter how bad we want to have a top 5 pick, that's not the direction they're going to go in. So you might as well just buckle up and enjoy the ride. The division.
Well, you still didn't want to lose to the Browns, too, right?
Yeah,
like that's even like you got to show some pride. That's
Right.
even something we talked about last week.
I get that. But also, we're not going to act like the Saints are world beaters right now either. So we're right there in the squalor with the Browns. So people in the talk are like, we beat the Browns. We're not that good either, guys. Like, so the Browns would have won yesterday. We had the same record.
Okay. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a happy Christmas. What's your point? That doesn't
That's what I'm
mean
saying.
anything.
You're both two cheeks of the same. You know what?
God, these next.
Except that the Saints have now won 2 in a row. The Falcons are imploding. The Bucks are
Exactly.
imploding. You get another home game against the Rams on Sunday.
Yes.
Then you'll probably face old Tommy DeVito and the
Need that.
Giants in New York, as he was
Ooh.
just announced this morning as the starter over Daniel Jones. Then Tommy's at home. Look, Jaden Dan, that's going to be tough. Absolutely. That's a good team. Look, I don't know where this goes, but I love seeing this team show fight. I think Clint Kubiak is showing you, look, man, when I have anything to work with, because he still doesn't have great ingredients, Jake, but he has enough.
Right.
With McCoy back and Taysom Hill back, he at least has some salt that he can play with, some seasoning a little bit. And like that's where this gets complicated. I like Kubiak a lot. And I think he would be a piece that ideally you would want to maybe carry forward into the future. Rizzy, like everybody would say, okay, could Rizzy be the long-term head coach? And I get that maybe we're getting out over our skis, but let's talk about it. It would take a crazy run, and maybe the door's open to do so. But I would say this for Rizzy. As you enter a rebuild, it's maybe not the worst thing. If he proves this over the rest of the season, it's maybe not the worst thing to give a guy who is a very proven, great NFL special teams coach. Been doing it forever. Knows this league inside and out. And his bona fides when it comes to special teams are unimpeachable. I don't think it's the worst idea if you want to ride with him for a year or two as you try to figure out all the crap. And then, you know what, if it doesn't work, then maybe try to go get like the hot commodity. Because right now, Jake, and we kind of talked this about Nick, I feel like last week, but who are you, let's say you wanted to go get the hot commodity, you think he wants to come here? Like, what's attractive about the Saints situation right now?
Yeah, you got a quarterback that's on, a big-ish contract. That's on the other.
It's a quarterback that sucks.
On the on the other side of it, you do have some aging players. You're in cap hell. The front office has drafted extremely poor at times. They've given extensions to players that probably didn't deserve it when they've let really good players that they actually have drafted well. They've actually let them go sign with other teams. So, yeah, outside of that.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Besides that, Miss Legan, how was the play? So I don't know. So, again, this is a way out over our skis hypothetical, but I'm just getting ahead of it and saying I am not closed off to that idea. Taylor, I can see you a bit antsy to join in here. I know that you wouldn't know what it's like to cheer for a team that's won 2 in a row, or has the Rizzler,
or
as
has
your
a
head coach.
win at home.
Yeah, or has a win at home. Fair. Yeah. Very, very true.
Only team in the league.
Another loss for AT&T this weekend with the fight, but we'll get to that probably during weekend winners, obviously. But okay, Tate. So what is your outside cowgirl loving take on the New Orleans Saints right now?
I think they're trending in the right direction. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. You talk about the Falcons. They are imploding. They are doing what Atlanta teams do. And they can always turn it around. When you talk about the Bucs losing, it's going to be harder for them to turn around because they're so injured, right? No Godwin, no Evans, probably no Tristan Wirfs. So, I mean, how do you overcome that? I mean, you really can't on the offensive side, and their secondary has been questionable. I mean, you look at Carr from a game-by-game basis this year, guys, like just purely game-by-game, he's right there with Kirk Cousins in terms of efficiency. I mean, he is, just as far as game-by-game. I mean, Cousins, 255 per game, passing yards, Carr, 217, but they're both averaging a touchdown and a half per game, and Cousins actually averaging more interceptions per game than Derek Carr. So, I mean, they're kind of neck and neck this year. I mean, Cousins has the more passing yards, sure, but, I mean, when Carr's had his fully healthy offensive line and a complement of weapons, like he's actually been okay this year.
And the thing about Kubiak is that Kubiak's doing a good job of putting him in friendly positions and taking pressure off him with guys like Taysom Hill. And you know what's one thing that I loved about yesterday's game, Jake, is that it would have been real easy to bail on the Taysom Hill packages, right?
Yeah.
Because he threw the bad pick, and then he had the bad fumble in the red zone when you're moving the ball, and you didn't bail. You said, no, you're our guy. We're going to continue to trust in you. We think we have an advantage here, especially in this game. And you did that, and he rewarded you for it. And that's very rare. And if I want to be like just super probably out of pocket, I feel like if Dennis Allen is the head coach, that you don't stick with him there. And I feel like he's like, no, I don't want to see it anymore. Yeah, I don't want to see it anymore.
Panics. Oh, we can't turn the ball over. We can't. No. We just got to go back and we got to kind of be conservative. And that's what they would have done. We're going to play good defense behind us. Like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that in the NFL. You just can't. You have to go out there and you have to be yourself. You have to do what's working. You can't be scared to go make a bad play. And Taysom, at the end of it, now you want to fix those things, but like that's kind of, look, he's had a history of fumbling without question, because some of the plays that he's playing, even though he is a big physical guy, still doesn't matter. Like those are some hits that probably, quarterbacks aren't used to taking. But he went out there and he closed the game for you. Like he can be a real weapon. If you stick to a plan, I don't know what the plan is. It can change from week to week, but if you stick to the plan that week, he can do that for you. I mean, he is a true unicorn. Like there's like 35 different stats that I've seen that no player's ever done, thrown and run and passed for this much. All those belong to Taysom. All right, nobody does what he does. And if you have a plan, stick with the plan. Don't bail on it. And that's what they did yesterday.
Yeah. So Hill, in case you don't know the numbers, Hill yesterday, 7 carries, 138, 3 touchdowns. He had that massive touchdown at the end. He has 8 catches for 50 yards. And then he does throw a pick, but his other pass attempt was an 18-yard completion. So really, I mean,
the pick was egregious. What are you doing there?
Yeah, the pick was all.
Egregious.
I mean, Taysom's deep ball has always been egregious. Taysom's deep ball is awful. That was a bad read, bad everything.
That was a lollipop.
But again, like in a lot of situations, the coach would panic there or get pissed and frustrated and move on from it. But you don't win this game yesterday if you don't stick with Taysom Hill. And so shout out Rizzy and the boys for saying, no, we don't look mistakes. Okay, fine. Go make me right. Go make up for it. And as a player, that's what you want, man. You want the opportunity to make up for the mistakes because nobody knows the impact of those mistakes more than Taysom. He doesn't need to explain to him. He feels that harder than everybody else when he fumbles that ball in the red zone, when he throws that pick. And so he then is hungry to try and make up for it. You allowed him the runway to do so, and he honored you.
Though, T, what after all this and seeing how the players have had a resurgence with Rizzy and all that, it makes me really wonder, what if Kendre Miller really wasn't hurt this whole time at DA? Because, you heard about how DA was just putting players on IR and whatnot because if he didn't like them. So what if he comes back and he actually, pops?
I don't know.
Just saying.
I thought I had out-of-pocket takes. I don't know if I can go full conspiracy theory, Kendre Miller not really hurt but put on IR just because Dennis doesn't like
That's
him.
what I'm thinking.
That would not explain why Kendre Miller didn't practice during camp.
No, I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about
He-
the second one.
I know, but I'm saying,
back
but he had a
again, the second
hammy
one.
the first day of camp. I'm not extending that grace to Kendre Miller yet. Let Kendre Miller prove one thing to me before I
think
give him
he
that
comes
grace.
back probably this week or next week. So we're gonna see. I'm just saying, just put that out there. We're gonna see.
I don't know that we will, as long as you have AK and Taysom. I don't really know where Kendre fits in. Maybe at the edges.
Well, I think you can AK workload. Just turn it out a little. Not, I'm not saying split his carries or whatnot.
Turn
but
it down?
just a little bit.
I disagree. I think AK looks young, fast, and dynamic. You want to put Kendre, you want to give Alex, you want to give AK touches to Kendre Miller?
I'm not saying split his. I got you, Taylor.
You're back in the box, dude.
No, I'm not.
I hate to do it.
I know exactly what I'm saying.
The team votes.
You
The
trying
team
to
votes.
play
Mute
like
his
I said,
mic.
split his
To
carries.
T-Bone's point.
I didn't say split his
Hey,
carries.
you're getting a 5-minute major.
Nah, bro.
Turn off your mic. That's another 5 minute. You get out of here. You're on the edge of getting thrown out.
Dude,
I'm gonna go full Angel on you.
This is
full
crazy.
Cowboy Joe West if you
This
don't
is crazy.
relax. Nope, turn it off. I don't want to hear it. New Orleans Saints, winners of 2 in a row. Shout out to the Rizzler. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.